Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host Gershwin and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about the most amazing homebrew Space Marine chapter in the history of Warhammer 40K's fandom. I'm talking about the Angry Marines. If you don't know who the Angry Marines are, please click on the link above. That's going to take you to part 1 of the Angry Marines. If not, just click on the video description below. There's a link there that's going to take you to the 4chan website, which we got our information from, and you're gonna get the codex of the Angry Marines. So if you really like the Angry Marines and you want to get more information on them, please visit that website down in the description below. And then before we get into it, if you already know who the Angry Marines are, you know they are angry. And just a disclaimer, viewer discretion advised, all that kind of stuff. This episode is not for the faint of heart. This episode will probably offend you. It will make you angry, and it might even make you cry. So if you are sensitive to all that kind of stuff, don't watch this episode. Look at or watch the other video that we posted today, but this is going to get a little crazy. With that said, let's get into 40 facts about the Angry Marines. This is a report from the Orc invasion of Calamitous Prime, called the Salvation of Calamitous Prime. It starts off as the Planetary Defense Force sold their lives dearly to stop the Greenskin advance upon our primary hive. But on the Horde came. There would be no escape, but for the Planetary Governor, whose escape shuttle was prepared to leave before the attack had even begun. As our leader left us to die, we prayed to the Emperor for deliverance, while we continued risking our lives to protect his work. Glory be to his swift answer. A yellow Thunderhawk identified as the Necrogoth fuckshit descended like a falling star, the much larger transport vehicle crushing the smaller one as it demolished the landing pad, and through the fire and smoke, the mighty figure of a Space Marine strode forth. I will never forget the seething expression on his face as he looked upon us, and then upon the hive, and then upon the Xenos. The Marine did not pause. He drew his chainsword and charged down the stairs with a battle cry upon his lips, screaming, "Fuck!" or something of the sort. A cry with no end. Even as he disappeared into the hive, we heard him clearly. Even as we saw the small yellow figure leap from the hive into the throng of green below, we heard him. Drop pods followed as more Marines smashed into the Horde. More yellow armored Marines echoing the endless cry. The Xenos were crushed utterly, and still screaming in rage, the Space Marines ran up the hive once more, to where the Governor still stood staring at the crushed wreckage of his escape shuttle in disbelief. The Marine poured into their Thunderhawks, but the Marine from before ran up to the cowardly official, and his finger, pressing painfully against the man's forehead, ended his war cry at last. Fuck you! Rather unceremoniously, the Governor was then pitched off the top of the hive, with his underwear pulled over his head. The Life of an Asshole is a report from the records of the Governor Tamil of Pathos Secundus. A boy was born in the year 895 of the 38th millennium on Pathos Secundus. Little is recorded of his parentage. His father was a guardsman, known only to be missing and presumed dead. His mother died in childbirth. The pregnancy had no complications, and so an autopsy was conducted. Wounds throughout the mother's uterus and all along the birth canal indicated the extreme trauma. Video of the birth confirmed that the medical examiner's suspicions was right. He had come out cunt punching. The child spent his youth in and out of various orphanages and foster homes. Several of his caretakers attempted to name him, but whenever anyone asked him for his name, he responded only by punching them in the throat. He was regarded as mad and dangerous at the very least. Many believed he harbored some mutation or even the mark of chaos. At the age of 10, however, he finally found a home. An angry Marine quartermaster had made planetfall to procure supplies, and the young boy happened to be in the area. The Marine shouted to him, "Hey asshole, Bring me the fucking hand truck in the corner. The youth approached the hardened battle brother and kicked him squarely in the groin plate, breaking 2 of his toes but making not a sound and shedding not a tear. The angry Marines had found a new recruit. At the time Asshole was inducted, the chapter master of the Angry Marines had decreed that new recruits should become standard Codex scouts. The issue was put to a vote, and the chapter at large declared the decision to be completely fucking faggotrous. However, the decree stood for a time on the basis that the chapter master did it just to piss off the worthless twats. This did not well accommodate young Asshole. The one thing they could never teach him to do was aim, and he spent far longer than normal languishing in the 10th Company. Finally, in the year 176 of the 39th millennium, during the scouring of Erlinger Prime, he proved himself. After emptying an entire magazine into an orc horde with no effect, Asshole abandoned his cover, howled madly into the sky, and broke his sniper rifle neatly in half across his knee. He then charged the band, tearing limbs from any greenskin that stood in his way, until he was standing face to face with the boss mech. Asshole took the 2 halves of his ruined rifle and splintered the orc from both ends of his digestive tract, right through his flash custom art pants no less. The remaining Xenos turned tail and ran. For this heroism, Asshole was immediately inducted to the 5th Company and promoted to the rank of sergeant. Nevertheless, the chapter master shortly thereafter judged that the newbies were pissed off enough and reinstated the angry gangs. Asshole rose quickly through the ranks, finally becoming brother captain of battle barge Killfuck Soulshitter in the year 722 of the 39th millennium. During his career, he developed a special hatred for Eldar, and would often be heard to claim that they might as well be goddamn pretty Marines for all their fairy-ass pant-shittery. In the year 756 of the 39th millennium, the Killfuck Soulshitter was called to push back an incursion on the Kolfis sector by the Eldar. The campaign was a terrifying success, and in its last moments, Captain Asshole confronted Farseer Turiel and her daughter, Sorith, one of the Seer's council personally. Breaking Sorith and casting her aside in one swift blow, the captain approached the Farseer, shaking with rage. Before she could react, he slammed her to the ground, removed his groin plate, and smashed the Eldar Psyker with the brutality she no doubt ever imagined in her 424 years. As he finished, he rose, readjusted his armor, and looked at the horrified Sorith in her eyes, saying, "I fucked your mom." He turned and left, letting the 2 witches steal into the webway. A Marine in Asshole's retinue, puzzled, asked, "Why the fuck did you let those dykes get away, you retarded coxicle?" In an astonishing display of restraint, Asshole replied simply, "Those Space Marine whores aren't the only ones who can plan ahead, you dickweed." In the year 889 of the 39th millennium, Captain Asshole received a pizza with mushrooms instead of pineapple, and suffered an aneurysm while pummeling those responsible. Thus, his battle brothers cybernetically mounted him into one of the chapter's dreadnoughts, or as they prefer to call them within the Angry Marines, a belligerent engine. 30 years later, the chapter met the same Eldar again on the battlefield. The carnage played out much the same as before. All that remained were Farseer Turiel, Sorith, and the belligerent engine in which the Captain Asshole was fused. A terrible din was heard. Suddenly, Captain Asshole's member had punched right through the armor plating of the dreadnought, with the angry Marine himself in tow, and lodged itself between the buttocks of Farseer with a force of 10 supernovas. He turned to Sorith and spoke his last words to her before he slaughtered them both. "Even in death, I still fuck your mom." Captain Asshole victoriously then breathed his last breath on the battlefield. In the Imperial Historical Logs as compiled by Commissar T.J. Wang of the 137th Trondheim Regiment of the Imperial Guard, a synopsis of the event preceding the destruction of the heretical forces of Terranus Gamma can be found. The planet of Tertius Gamma was besieged by mutants of chaos, the insidiousness of which had never been seen before in the sector. The Fury Abominations committing the hideous blasphemy of wearing sacred power armor as if in the service of the God Emperor, and then leveling city after city for days. And now they had advanced upon the capital city, the last bastion of humanity. However, little did anyone realize that the incursion had been noticed by one of the greatest chapters of all Space Marines, whose mighty battle barge was even now entering orbit around the planet. It was the Angry Marines. "God damn it, why aren't we on the ground yet?" screamed an armored visage. What remained of his face had been twisted recognizably by sheer rage. "Sir, we can't enter the atmosphere that quickly. We'd burn." The voice of the servitor was cut short as he was crushed beneath the sheer weight of the Marine's armor as he jumped into the pilot terminal. Thus the battle barge, the Litany of Litanies litany, began its screaming descent toward the besieged planet. All the while, a cacophony of sickly sounds continued to permeate from the murky planet below. It was maddening, sufficiently so that any lesser man would have taken his own life, but it had no effect on the stalwart Marines of Rage, except to infuriate them like never before. At the same time, and unknown to his brethren on the first battle barge, or vice versa, a second battle barge of the chapter, the Maximum Fuck, hovered at the ready directly over the capital city. Upon it poised the payload of Adeptus Astartes Angry Marines, prepared to make planetfall. Captain Temporus of the 3rd Company watched and waited, his eyes fixed firmly on the screens showing a wave of mutants overrunning the Planetary Defense Force position. He felt his blood boil as he looked upon the livery adorning their armor, their mockery of everything they stood for. Their faces were an abomination, the heretical glee visible on their faces even from space angered the battle captain even more. The comm servant gave a silent nod, and although it seemed as though he hadn't seen it, Temporus was well aware. It was time, but he hadn't the patience for any conventional strike this time. "Cunt-sniffing faggot motherfuckers," he bellowed with rage. With the full force of his forehead, Captain Temporus struck the large red button on the console in front of him, destroying it in the process. Great shields on the side of the battle barge turned into place over the front of the craft, forming a giant battering ram shaped like a middle finger. The Maximum Fuck began its nose-first descent into the atmosphere. The fighting around the capital city grew more and more fierce. The furred mutants were sending their numbers to die beneath the walls of the city, each one attempting to use their bladed weapon to try and chip away at the hardened rockcrete. At first, the defenders cheered at their foolhardiness, but as more corpses piled around the wall, the more precarious became the city's chances. "Keep up the heavy bolter fire," the commissar screamed over the din of the gun emplacements. "Bring up the flamers. Show these abominations the cleansing power of the Emperor." And then a servitor scuttled up at the commissar's side. "Milord, crafts from off-world are making planetfall. It appears to be Adeptus Astartes." "Ah, at last. Now we shall truly turn the tide against this filth," beamed the commissar. In revelry and decadence, the furries fought and continued to advance. The city would soon fall. There was none alive on Tertius Gamma who could stop them now. Suddenly, all heads turned skywards, eyes scanning above to find the source of a terrible noise. The two Angry Marine battle barges collided side first against one another as they plummeted towards the single target. The mutants realized the target was them. The commissar then turned his eyes skyward as the enemies fell silent and a great shadow fell across the land. "What the fuck?" the commissar uttered under his breath in disbelief. "Fuck you! I was here first!" screamed the commander aboard the Litany of Litanies litany as he piloted his barge directly into the heart of the mutant hordes below. "No, fuck you! I deployed the finger!" Captain Temporus cursed back. Traitors fled, mutants hid, deviants cried out for their dark gods to save them, as one, then two battle barges slammed into the enemy lines. With a terrifying roar, the planet itself was torn asunder. Tertius Gamma was no more. And those were 40 facts about the Angry Marines. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I told you it was going to be very offensive. If you watch this all the way through and you are offended, I told you so. But thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing. Please don't forget to do that, guys. And now, a special message from us. What is up, guys? We interrupt your broadcast to give you another awesome giveaway because we hit 50,000 subscribers. We're going to be trying to do giveaways every time we hit 10,000 more subscribers, with, you know, the big 100,000 being a huge giveaway like we did with our 40K subscribers. But this time we're giving away, bam, Space Marines. Space Marines. This is the collection starter set. If you have a friend, or if you yourself want to start playing Warhammer 40K, because we have a lot of viewers that say they don't play Warhammer 40K, but they like to listen to our lore, bam, this is your opportunity.
Yeah, it's a really good, it's a good starting place. You've got your Terminator Captain, a Venerable Dread, and a Tactical Squad with a bunch of options for like grav guns, plasma, flamers, melta, you name it.
Yes. What you need to do in order to win this, guy, is just simply comment down below, like this video, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be checking all three things. We're going to go into your channel and make sure that you subscribed and you liked the video. So don't forget to put your channel in public.
Right.
And again, guys, thank you so much for letting us hit 50,000 subscribers. You guys coming in every single day to watch our video really helps, and it's just awesome to see the community that we're that's building.
That's right. Keep on liking, commenting, and subscribing, and hopefully you guys get this awesome giveaway.
With that said, guys, can't wait to read all your comments. And also, guys, don't forget to visit the website link below. It's going to have not only more information on the Angry Marines, but it's also going to have different codexes for specific races or angry versions of the specific races. And it's just an awesome website, so please check that out. With that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.